what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back at my favorite filming spot location because guess what? We have something new and improved from that iconic luxury Japanese brand. It's this vehicle right here. This is a 2025 Lexus UX 300H. But before we get into the smallest Lexus in their lineup of crossover SUVs, let's talk about what's going on here. So Lexus, as we know, is the premium brand of Toyota. And this UX has been in their lineup for quite a few years. Now, what's interesting is that this is not a total redesign. This is a big bump in technology, certain finishes, and underneath the hood. Now, what's fascinating is that the UX has been that go-to for the entryway into the Lexus family, but it also brings hybrid power. And Lexus and Toyota really know how to make a very fuel-efficient hybrid setup. So what I want to find out is, should you go with this new enlarged horsepower-wise, but also MPG-wise UX 300H F Sport, or should you go with the Toyota version of a sporty but yet very usable vehicle, the iconic Toyota Prius? Which way should you go? Let's dive into our UX 300H and find out. Right off the bat, this color. Lexus has a color palette that Picasso would be proud of, and this red line color really hits you hard in the Florida sun in a very good way. Now at the front end of the business, you're gonna see that signature Lexus style. We have that Lexus daytime running lamp, that swoosh, almost looks like a Nike swoosh, LED daytime running lamp, LED projector beam headlight, and LED turn signals. We do have on the F Sport functional corner air curtains, like the spindle grille design, some gloss black, and LED fog lamps. Now, as we come across that wide open nose, you have on the grille that spindle grille, the Lexus badge, and then I like the way they did the whole perimeter in this gloss black, especially the lower lip with some dark chrome. It's actually gloss black on the grille, dark chrome on that lip that extends out. But they did retweak the front end of this. So it does have a little bit more sportier look, a little bolder look than previous model years of the UX. Now, as we rise up, that low slung hood, love the fit and finish. And that's one of the things is this vehicle does have a sporty appearance to it, just like the Toyota Prius, especially the new Prius has a sporty appearance to it. Very sleek, nice curves. And then I also like the way they did on this F Sport. You have the two-tone with the black painted roof. Really gives it a nice kind of differentiator in color. Now, when we come around the bend, when you go F Sport, you're gonna get some specific wheels set up here. What you have going on are these nice dark metallic gray wheels, V-spoke design. If you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the size of this wheel? You're looking at an 18-inch wheel in diameter. Tires are 225 on the width and a 50 series sidewall. Of course, when you go F Sport, they do specially tune the suspension to give you sportier handling. And you could get your UX either front wheel drive or all wheel drive like ours is. And that's the same thing with the Prius. Prius has 18-inch wheels on some trims. You could get 19-inch wheels if you want to, so you can get a little bigger wheel on the Prius. And on the Prius, you can get front wheel drive or you can go all wheel drive. What I like about the new UX is how they body color, especially in that red line color. The fender flares really gives it a nice aggressive look. Coming down the side, you do have your F Sport badge, and you are gonna get gloss black on the mirror caps, some shiny chrome finish, LED turn signals, and body color. I do like the way that instead of doing two-tone with the whole roof and the A-pillar, they just did the two-tone just on the top here. And what's great about that is with the black roof rails and our sunroof, it blends in nicely all the way to that roof spoiler. I wish they would have went dark chrome finish on the metalwork around the window openings, so that's a zonk. But the body lines, like I said, very crisp, And with everything painted, because in the past, on a UX, these used to be flat black plastic, and it didn't have as sporty as a look to it. It looked more like crossover SUV. This looks more sportier. You do have flat black on the lower side skirt extension and color matched on the door handles. Now I'm gonna have Steven kind of swing around and just show you this way the fender flare. Like I said, the indentation and then the flare out gives it a nice look. Coming towards the rear, same story. We flip it around again and you'll notice that very wide fender flare. Love the way they do the full LED lighting. They smoked out the taillights a little bit, put some aero into the taillight itself. Stubby roof spoiler. If they would have extended this out, they probably could have got rid of the wiper, but I'm not gonna zonk it because at this price point in this type of vehicle, that's to be expected. You do have your UX 300H badge. And what's great is as we get down to ground level, they did a great job cleaning up the rear bumper area. No fake exhaust. I like the dark chrome accents around your DOT required reflectors and your LED backup lamps. And I like the black chrome finish on that lower bumper area. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and talk horsepower and MPGs of this UX. All right guys, we got the hood popped. You do have a prop rod. Prius has a prop rod as well. Underneath the hood, very, very tasteful engine cover. I'm very proud of Lexus for putting this kind of work into an engine cover on the UX, but it's what's underneath that cover that's really making a hell of a difference. 2-liter inline-4 naturally aspirated engine paired to 2 electric motors. That's just like the Toyota Prius. It's mated to an eCVT, so you have 196 horsepower. May not sound like a lot, but that's up from 181 horsepower on the previous model year. 0 to 60, you're looking at right around 7.9 seconds. Like I said, may not sound fast, but the previous model year was a second slower. It was 8.9 seconds, but here's where you're really gonna win. All-wheel drive example, 44 MPGs on the city, 40 on the highway. If you go front-wheel drive, you're gonna get 1 extra MPG on both. So that would be 45 and 41. To really make this one heck of a fuel-efficient vehicle, and not like the Prius isn't fuel-efficient, but this definitely has some good numbers. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire this thing up and see it roll. All right, guys, we are inside this 2025 Lexus UX 300h F Sport. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I kind of am digging the look of this, especially with it all being body colored, no more flat black plastic on the fenders and everything else. My only question is, if they made changes, Joe, it's got to be extra money, huh? Well, here's the MSRP. For this one with all-wheel drive, you're looking right around $45,000. Let's see how it stacks up to the Prius. To the door panels. Very simplistic, but the great news is all soft touch material. I would have liked to have seen some red stitching somewhere on the door panel, for God's sakes. I do like that dark titanium color door handle. They redesigned the switch gear on the door panels with that faux black wood. And then the door pocket is on the smaller side. Keep it to 1 Einstein bagel with a schmear and a Starbucks coffee to wash it down. And they did redo the speaker grill cover, giving it a nice look as well. Now going from the door panel to the dash, look, here's where they had the red stitching. Why didn't they put some of this on the door panel? So it looks really good on the dash, soft touch material. You slide on in, you got the new 12.3-inch infotainment system. It's got the new Lexus multimedia software. This is where you could set up your driver profiles. You could see the delivery of the power. There is our, of course, motor, our engine, and then there's the electric motor and our battery pack, lithium-ion battery pack, which is really nice. Come back to the home screen, throw it into reverse. Large camera, wish it just took up a little bit more room, but the resolution is actually pretty clear, and you do have your trajectory, which is really nice. Working your way down, you got your AC vents nicely integrated. Love the toggle switches for the dual climate, your power on button. And then down below, you do have wireless charging, 2 USB-Cs, 2 cup holders, your standard Lexus key fob. It's clean, it works. I love this faux wood because it just, I don't know, it looks modern, it looks sporty. You have your 3 stages of heated seats, 2 stages of heated steering wheel, and 3 stages of ventilated seats. New electric shifter for the eCVT. There's your EV mode button. Soft touch, I like the way I could open it for me, but guess what? I could open it up for you. You got a USB-A, a 12 volt, and enough room in there to where you could probably put, I would say, 4 snowballs. So get yourself some Hostess snowballs, and if you don't know what that is, that's the treat where it's the pink coconut on the outside, chocolate cake, and then the creamy on the inside. But you could fit 4 of those in there, no problem. Seats, that soft text material with the F Sport badge. Actually, Lexus calls it New Lux material. Look at the red. Steven didn't even show you. Look at the red that they have underneath the perforations. And then you do have power seat controls for the driver and the passenger. And over here, you're gonna have your standard size sunroof, which is nice. And I like the way they black out the whole headliner. But why don't you come over to the business side of things? I wanna show you behind the wheel in this UX 300H. All right, guys, behind the wheel, the business time. We got 3 memory seat settings for the driver's seat. Love the classy F Sport badge on the aluminum sill plate. Pedal box right out of a race car. Aluminum dead pedal, brake pedal, and throttle. You even have the F Sport embroidery. That's worth an extra 5 horsepower. Seat controls, easy to get to. Seats are comfy. And what's cool is they actually have some bolstering to hold you in place because of that handling that's been done, the special handling tuning to the suspension. Steering wheel, leather, perforated smooth with the red stitching, the F Sport badge, flat black on the switchgear. You do have these paddles on the back of the wheel, and it is an electric tilting and telescoping steering wheel. And then you have a new 12-inch digital gauge cluster. Love the way when you go through the different modes, it changes up. Look at that. There is Sport. Let me get rid of that. There we go. Now we're gonna go one more. Sport Plus with the tack across the top. Really, really neat to have that kind of technology and setup. And there's a head-up display. But why don't we get in the back seat and see how your passengers are gonna like this UX 300H over the Prius. All right, guys, now when you get into the back seat of this UX 300H, it is a little on the tight side, but let's be honest, the Toyota Prius is also tighter on the back seat side of things. But the great news is you have LED interior lighting. Once you get in, I mean, my head is not close to the headliner and I'm 6 feet tall. Backs of the seats, the New Lux, no pocket behind the driver. So if you're carrying your 2 pineapples, you're not gonna have a pocket to put them in, and that means you're gonna have to put them in between your legs. And if you're a guy, you may not ever be having kids if the driver has to stop short. Just saying. You do get AC vents, which are really nice, keep you cool in the back. And then you do have 2 USB-Cs for your rear seat passengers. I have a pocket over here so I can put my pineapples in there because I'm not harming the family jewels. And like I said, it's a little on the tight side, but it isn't like, I feel there's other cars where it feels tighter, even in the same class as this. What's even more enjoyable is you have a nice New Lux soft armrest with the 2 cup holders. It just, where's my red back here? They gave us red up front and red stitching and they forgot the back seat. Maybe they ran out of yarn that particular day or thread when they made this one. But let's get into the cargo area because I want to go for a drive in this new UX 300H. All right, guys, cargo area time. What's nice is you have electric assist. Push the button, opens up, and you're going to be greeted to a smallish amount of room. But I have a surprise right up my sleeve. You're looking at 17.1 cubic feet of space with the seats up. Folding the rear seats down is not the surprise. What the surprise is watch this. You take the cargo floor, and it drops all the way down. So now you have a lower cargo floor, give you some more freedom for taller items. We have our Lexus first aid kit, Velcroed to the side here. It's got the Lexus Band-Aids, our subwoofer from our premium sound system on the driver's side. And we also have somewhere here, oh, it's also on the driver's side, Steven, look at that. You do have a 12 volt and LED lighting in the back. So that's very nice to have as well. Now to put down the seat, you kind of have to just reach over. They are 60-40, and you'll see just how the seats fold nice and flat. Now, if you're saying, well, Joe, that kind of sucks because of the division here. Well, if that really bothers you, depending on what you're putting now, you just take this out and we're just gonna make it up like that. Ta-da! Look at that. The seats are actually lower a little bit than this area of the cargo. So nice to see that, but hey, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go for a little hypermiling spin in this UX 300H. All right, guys, we're inside this 2025 Lexus UX 300H F Sport. If you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. So I have it in Sport Plus mode, and when you do that, there is this sound that gets pumped in through the speakers. It almost sounds like a race car, and unfortunately not in a very good way, so I am gonna zonk that sound. The good news is you go into different modes and the sound is not present. What is awesome though is that you have more horsepower and more torque, which allows for a quicker getaway, and I'm never gonna argue about that. All the finishes in here feel really, really fantastic. The fact that you got a nice large wireless charging pad for the biggest of those iPad cell phones, the USB-Cs. I just wish they would have done more of this red stitching. The red stitching is really, really nice. Now, visibility, believe it or not, is actually really good out the front, out the back, and you have the updated Lexus Safety 3.0++ in this thing. So you're gonna have all of your safety features that you need just to protect you and your passengers. Now, they did some work to the steering, which is good, and now we're gonna go on throttle. On throttle, here we go. And it's one of those things that, yes, I know you're probably gonna say to me, well, Joe, I don't care about 0 to 60. I don't go race my vehicles out on the streets of where I live. I get it. It's for those moments like right now when you get onto the highway, you go on throttle, and that allows you to merge a lot easier. If you don't have enough room to get out of your own way, it makes it actually dangerous for everybody involved. What helps with the danger is we have that nice head-up display. And like I said, to change the modes, it's very, very easy. When you go into your eco mode, it has your charge gauge there, shows the regen braking when you get on the brakes. And you can hear now, you don't have that sound, that race car pumped in sound. You just hear the 4-cylinder, and I'm okay with that. I like the sound of an engine, but the good news is you don't notice when the engine is turning on and off to charge the battery pack. And essentially, you know, with this having more power, it brings it closer to what they did with what Toyota did with the Prius, and because the Prius is probably one of the best hybrid vehicles around, and this just really opens up the spectrum a little wider to give you that crossover usability. But let's go ahead. I have it in eco. On throttle, here we go. You have the eCVT. I know that doesn't make a very invigorating drive experience, but the bottom line is if you want maximum MPGs, you got to have an eCVT. You'll get better MPGs than if you don't. And that's just the fact. The new digital gauge cluster looks wonderful. Seats are comfortable, supportive. In the F Sport, they have actually some pretty nice bolstering that just kind of helps with the comfort. And it's going to hold you in place when the road does get a little twisty. Steering wheel feels fantastic with my hands wrapped around it. And getting to that new 12-inch infotainment system is well within reach. Let's go ahead and make a U-turn, see how that goes. So we're gonna make a quick U-turn here. I'm gonna put it back in the Sport Plus. On throttle, here we go. So kind of cool the way they put the tack across the top there. Just not so cool with the race car sound. It literally sounds like I'm playing pole position or something back in the arcade days of the 1980s. which I mean, I love that time. I just don't want it in my UX 300H. But the handling in this thing is really, really spectacular. They really improved it. And with this being a hybrid, remember, you have a lower center of gravity, and that's just going to help with the handling overall. A bit of wind noise, but no road noise, which is really nice. Of course, we're rolling on those 18-inch wheels. On the brakes, here we go. On throttle, here we go, yeah! So like I said, the video game sound is a little too over the top. Let's see if it does it in sport mode. It's a little lower, it's a little deeper. So you're still gonna get the sound, the pumped in sound through the speakers when you're in sport mode. It just sounds a little deeper and not so much like a whiny, almost like sport bike sound. On throttle, here we go. It's funny how it changes. That's interesting, but I also like the way that the tachometer changes as you go through the rev range, which is kind of cool. And then we go right back into our eco mode. Really, really smooth. Look at that. And then you could also do custom, where you could set up exactly what you want and how you want it. So that's another nice setup as well. But I'm hoping that this has been a good overall review of what the UX 300H F Sport is bringing. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in an F Sport second. All right, guys, another great day here in Tampa Bay. Definitely want to thank the whole Lexus team getting us access, not to a 2024, to a 2025 updated, refreshed, changed up Lexus UX 300H. Let me know what you think. How are you gonna spend your Benjamins? Are you going Lexus with a little extra luxury? Or are you gonna go Prius, and I can't believe I'm saying this, with a little extra sporty style? Let me know how you're gonna spend your money. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, then you're being part of the Raised Rights family. You need to give it up to Stephen Flood. I like to bust his chops, he knows that, but I definitely have to give it to him. He is one heck of a hard-working dude. Show him some love in the comment section. Thank you, Stephen, for all the work that you have accomplished today. We're on our 10th car filming and still going strong. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.